help agencies with paid search, and who is planning for their holiday search yet? Or just who's thinking about it? Okay. Who knows they should be thinking about it? Okay.
There weren't a lot of hands up. Okay.
So Felicia's here, and she's going to talk not only about some tips for holiday search, but then just general tips for paid search and beyond.
Oh.
Felicia, I will let you take it away. Let's make sure everyone can hear you, Hudson.
Hello.
That one's that's for the camera, and the lapel mic is for.
Hello. Oh, this is testing my talents. Hi, everyone. Okay, I know that question was just asked, and before I even do my intro again about who I am, can I see those hands one more time? Who is planning? Actually, I'm going to ask a number of questions. First, who currently runs a paid search campaign? Yeah, go paid search, people. Okay, who is hoping to or planning to maybe run a search? Oh, your hand went up very quick. I love that. And now holiday planning. I saw that, but who is done with holiday planning? You've got bragging rights, guys. Okay, and then who is planning? All right, lots of questions, but ultimately we're going to go through just some really great tips and tricks for you for this holiday season. So again, an intro on who I am. My name is Felicia Gardner, and I'm an agency lead at Microsoft / specifically at Bing within the advertising department. And what that means is my role is I work very closely with advertising agencies nationally to really just kind of devise smart, strategic ways to think about how they should be partnering with Bing, thinking about paid search, and even we've spanned into native and conversations around that. So, throughout my presentation, you're going to find that a lot of the information here is very useful for you even in your social campaigns. If you're not currently running or planning a paid search campaign, search is a really useful indicator on how analytics and tool that you can utilize when planning campaigns. So my slides really build. So we'll use the time today to talk about some insights and overviews. As I pointed out, we'll talk about just kind of some things that are happening in the marketplace, year-over-year insights that you can really utilize. And we'll also go into mobile. Everyone says it's the year of the mobile. It's been mobile, right? So, but this is it. 2015's it. And you're going to see how really even mobile searches has eclipsed things happening in desktop. So, meaning in 2014. So we can only imagine what's going to happen now here in 2015, rather. And then lastly, we'll take some time to talk about tools for success. I have one free, really cool tool that I wanted to spend some time showing you guys, a Bing tool. It's called our Campaign Planner tool that I want to spend some time kind of showing you how to use, or just at least taking through some slides on how to use it that you'll be able to utilize. Again, if you are running a paid search campaign, you're going to absolutely love it. If you're also just doing social campaigns and you want to use it as a social indicator of what kind of keywords people are searching, you'll find it useful. Okay, so hopping right in to what the amount of money being spent during the holiday season last year. So $616 billion were spent during the holiday season last year. And so thinking about what the busiest season to capture sales and traffic and really get a piece of this pie, this is it. And holiday season didn't just kick off. So year over year, I'm going to jump here and then talk about this. Year over year, sales actually have jumped. We're expecting sales to jump 14%. So last year, we saw a growth from 2013 to 2014 of 4%. This year, we're expecting a growth of 14%. And so a lot of opportunity, yet again, as I said, online during this holiday season. And holiday shopping doesn't just begin in November and December. It actually already started in September. So people are planning and shopping now. Let me move. You're trying to get a picture. Go for it. People are already shopping and planning their holiday season. Now, granted, peak time frame is still November. 41% still shop in November. So for everyone who didn't raise their hand, totally fine. It's not too late. This is the time that you should be at least talking about, planning your campaigns. And if you still want to take or seize the opportunity, November is where the bulk of the traffic and opportunity exists. And then we'll talk a little bit more about those first 2 weeks of December and what's happening there. Because from an online perspective, there's been a lot of changes in terms of how people are searching, and really those first 2 weeks, new sort of like holidays coming about, like Green Monday. So we'll talk about that more. So the top 10, this is just a quick slide on all the top 10 days that existed in 2014 and what we're now expecting in 2015. I talked about that Green Monday day. So just if you're looking at the slide, the top 3, top 4 now in 2015 are those top dates. So Green Monday, does everyone know what Green Monday is? Okay, yeah, I'm like saying it like it's just some like regular slang and term, but really it's a day that eBay kind of coined and came up with because they developed like a new holiday. It's that second Monday-ish in December where they just like developed this new holiday and said, hey, let's make some money off of this, right? Same thing with Amazon. Didn't Amazon just do this in July where they created a brand new day? Yes, exactly. So this is happening. Not surprising that online space is shifting and creating new opportunities to create new holidays. That's what happened with Black Friday. It was the same thing. So these days are changing, and I'm just going to call out, if you guys are looking at the dates are slightly different in 2015, but the actual days exist. So I believe it's like actually the 30th, December 30th for Green Monday. So take a look at those days, back to kind of using these as like using search as an indicator. Take a look to see kind of like, are you noticing spikes in traffic to your site? Are you seeing a change in how people are, the kinds of maybe things that they're tweeting and Instagramming, or things like, what are they doing? How are they interacting and engaging with your brand during this time frame? And how can you capitalize on it beforehand? Or how could you even build a campaign around this? So these days are definitely going to be key. 'Twas the season, so I love this. So this is just another reminder of when some of those peak times of shopping actually occur. So online is just one resource where people are also doing, some research, and they're trying to figure out exactly who they're going to shop for. Yes, you hit the buy button. We'll look at some more. So there's some good numbers in here. There's more to come. But yes, they hit the buy button and they're making purchases. But there's also, some thought around, okay, people could be looking to ship or go into a store and pick something up. And so thinking about the peak days of sales growth is December 20th through the 21st, where a lot of in-store pickup is happening. So if you're working on a particular brand, or you have a retailer where in-store is big, you're going to want to create a campaign rather, online that allows for that online to offline interaction. So thinking about, just because you don't see someone hit convert or actually convert online, it doesn't mean that they're not taking advantage of what they could potentially be doing or picking up something in the store. So they might have researched that item online. This number does speak to more so that they've purchased it and held it, and now they're going into the store to pick it up. But they could absolutely still be just doing that research online and then coming into your store. And without that online presence, you could be missing that opportunity. Okay, last minute shoppers. This is totally me. So I'm trying, what I'm also trying to do here, guys, is one thing I know is we all don't have limitless budgets. It'd be great to have paid search budgets where you could just like turn it on, set it and forget it, and then just allow the numbers to speak for themselves. It doesn't exist. And so what this data is also meant to do is to kind of arm you with the information needed to target your campaigns appropriately, to day part your campaigns properly, to do whatever really you're able to do to make a budget stretch. And so by capitalizing on peak time frames, it's easier to do that, and really to even sell in a story on this is the importance of thinking about paid search or marrying paid search with our campaigns. And so as we talk more about these numbers, just keeping that in mind. That's why I really want to make sure that we kind of talk and delve into all of this. So in thinking about last minute shoppers and what's happening is that earlier than Thursday, December 18th, 33% of shoppers have actually converted. And so what it says is not many people are like me. You know, back to that previous slide where I showed, I'm a last minute shopper. The previous slide where I showed you that had majority of purchases happening in November, that still stands true. It's just confirming that yet again. But there's still some opportunities in those last minute days, minimal, but there's some opportunity those last minute days as you're leading up to Christmas, to the final holiday season. Some more numbers. So how much is being spent? Showed you 616 billion. That's a lot. Thank you. That's a big number. I know we would love if we could all get that for our companies, but that's not, or for ourselves. But another number is kind of like that per person. Shoppers are looking to spend $804 on during this holiday shopping season, and 597 of those dollars are just on people, gifts for people. So that means $200 on just like yourself. So thinking about what kind of products, what type of items you sell, all of that, like what does that like mean from a per person perspective when you're looking at your average, if you do have a paid search campaign, if you're looking at your average shopping cart or the average purchase, how much are people spending on average when they're shopping on your site? I would definitely start to dig into those numbers and see what that looks like. Granted, this is saying cross multiple verticals. I mean, this person could be shopping at multiple places, so that's a whole number. But it's good to kind of also understand what your average per purchase price is or per purchase amount is as well. As we build. All right, so what are people buying? What? I just said like they're not just shopping one place, but what are they purchasing? So clothing and accessory is number one. People are buying clothes, and that's what they're purchasing. Second is gift cards. So we'll talk about that on the next slide briefly too, but gift cards are a big one. We've noticed a rise more and more in gift cards. And when you think about gift cards, just don't think about it from, if you, again, are a brand that sells gift cards, it's this aspect of not just the purchase of the gift card, but that redemption. Studies have shown that when people come back to redeem their gift cards, they're actually even spending more. Or once the gift card's been gifted, I should say, and the person who received the gift card, they're now spending even more. And so just to loop back in the paid search aspect of this in terms of ad copy and how you can message to that audience, you could now begin to, put redemption messaging in your paid search ads or within, any social media that you're doing, really making sure that messaging begins to ring through, because you know that after the holidays, people are redeeming their gift cards, and you want them to come and, of course, use their gift card, but you have an opportunity to keep them in that purchase funnel and have them actually spend even more. So I kind of stole my shine on this next slide. I'm going to kind of run through this quickly, but the places where gift cards are being purchased and redeemed the most: department stores, restaurants, and coffee shops. I get so many Starbucks coffee shop gift cards. Please keep them coming. And this is right. They're amazing. And no surprise, that continues to rise. Oh, darn. Too late now. Hold on. You guys already saw it. Okay, so I wanted to ask, what do we think? This actually was surprising to me. I don't know why. The biggest gifts for kids. So if you have a retailer that, or if you are a retailer that has toys, gifts for children, these are going to be the top gifts, or these were the top gifts in 2014, and some of these still may remain. I was looking at the Frozen one because I'm like, I wonder, I feel like kids are still in love with Frozen, right? But in 2014, for girls, Frozen was the #1 gift, and for boys, Legos was the #1. So just kind of like keeping that in mind in terms of, yet again, just kind of arming you with all of this information. If this applies to you or potentially the company you work for, your client, this is where parents are spending their money. And this is what kids want. So search, of course, the agency lead at search is going to highlight this again. But search is an integral part and an integral role in holiday shopping. And so people are using search to plan, again, their entire holiday list most of the time, and they're using it as a research tool. So I don't go to the store unless I can compare. In fact, I go to the store, but I pull out my mobile phone, right, even when I'm in it, unless I really know I'm getting the best deal. And from a competitive standpoint, you can also use search as a competitive tool to understand, and within your search results, who is coming up for number one when you go in and you do a search for, let's go back to Legos. If you're doing search for Legos and you recognize that there's a competitor in that space that you didn't know was a top competitor for you. I always say look from a local standpoint and also a national standpoint. From a local standpoint, who's coming up if you search for like Legos in Chicago, shopping for Legos in Chicago. Really begin to do those modified searches so you can tailor what your campaign will be and your campaign goals may be, and back to that really then allows you to even stretch your paid search budget. So timing, all of this insight around what people are looking for, what they're buying, but making it actionable and understanding what time of day and what days are they looking. And so for Thanksgiving continues to grow as one of those top days for online sales. And more specifically, when looking at the consistencies of peak times, so this is in Pacific Standard Time, but if you just kind of look at the themes of bulk of time, so you see definitely in the morning hours, so probably when people are getting into, well, Thanksgiving, when people are like, I guess, supposed to be cooking but not, or just kind of sitting around and waiting, they're doing some searches. And then you have towards the evening hours, which I always say is that time after you have eaten, right? Everyone's watching TV, they're kind of on the sofa relaxing, and people are now starting to like maybe plan out what they're gonna do the next day for Black Friday, or just understand, because a lot of retailers are now launching big deals on Thanksgiving. And so that's also a way for, even if you don't have a campaign live, or you're not currently an advertiser in the space, you can begin to collect and gather information about what people are searching for and what they're interested in. So this is a good time to kind of like isolate out and if you're going to look. And then as well as a shopper, you can either shop during those times or look at the low times and not shop during the peak times when traffic is pretty high. And then for Thanksgiving, I mentioned this earlier in terms of mobile eclipsing. We're going to talk about mobile just a little bit more in a future slide, but this was the first time in 2014 that we actually saw a rise in mobile searches over desktop. So huge deal. I mean, we're not all lugging our computers over to our families' houses when we're spending time for those holiday days. So not surprising, mobile devices have gotten bigger. We're using our mobile devices as truly even a replacement to our tablets. So this is not surprising to me that the searches around mobile and that traffic surpassed. But there is still some stats around what's happening in terms of traffic versus conversions on mobile, smartphones versus tablets. So we'll talk about that too, but people are still, not hitting necessarily they're hitting the buy button more than they used to for mobile, but not at the same rate still as they do for tablet. All right, this is just showing the similar slides in terms of timing, but now for Black Friday. So you'll see those morning peak hours makes complete sense. Those doorbusters, people are not just like, maybe again, they're planning before they get out into the stores, but they're also kind of at home. I know we didn't really go out this year or last year for Black Friday. I did a lot of shopping online because there were online retailers getting that. They can capitalize on the Black Friday movement as well and just put up a Black Friday deal online. And so I think as advertisers, we're getting more sophisticated in reshaping what the online environment and space looks like during the holidays. Cyber Monday, same thing, but we've got end of day. So that's a peak. So Cyber Monday, and I'm assuming that's kind of like after everyone's gone home, after work, and now you're finally shopping and digging into what you didn't get to purchase maybe earlier at work, but you're able to now hit the buy button and search more on things. And so evening hours are when Cyber Monday traffic spikes. So again, a tip just around that and ensuring is if you are running a campaign, you have limited budgets, you can day part your campaign specifically for these hours. So you can ensure that you don't have a campaign live in the morning, but it's ready to go, and there's a timestamp on it that lets the system know in Bing Ads to turn on your campaign and allow it to run in those evening hours, so you can still absolutely capitalize on that. All right, we're going to do this really quickly because Cyber Monday makes history. We talked about just like those sales dollars and when you compare them all together. We talked about timing and traffic, but in terms of sales, what does that look like? So year over year, Cyber Monday still had a very significant rise of that 8.5%, Black Friday at 9.5%. So we have all these dates, Thanksgiving at 14.3%. So, again, this year, we expect these numbers to even rise higher than that for 2015 with all of the devices and more holidays around not made up holidays, sorry eBay, the new holidays that have been created during this holiday season. Guys, I won't run through the whole checklist. I will also say at the end, I'm going to tell you where you can get this deck if you want it, which I know you do. So I'll share with you where you can get it. But this is just kind of highlighting some of the things we talked about. And if you were creating, when you do create your campaign, a nice checklist of things that may apply to you as you're running through and thinking about your paid search campaign. Or, again, how you're going to go about researching to have the best holiday campaign, or holiday season rather. What are the steps that you can take to research and things you can begin to think about and see if it's applicable to you. Mobile. So this deck is also built around knowing that holiday is chaotic. There's a lot to take in. It's a lot of numbers, a lot of information, but it's zen. So literally it does say that. Like it does say, breathe it all in. It's the holiday zen deck. Because again, this is like, you don't want to lose out on the fact that it's a big opportunity to grasp here and to take advantage of. And so mobile, to me, really back to if you had to think about like what your strategies are going to be from a desktop, tablet, mobile perspective and where to really focus your time and effort, definitely mobile and desktop would be it. And you'll see why as we go into this more and more. Tablet conversion standpoint, I did highlight that we are seeing conversions at a higher rate on tablet. However, where are people searching, right? We know they'll eventually hit buy somewhere, but you want to capture them where they're searching. So breathe it in. So we have here that mobile traffic means business. I love that. So nearly half of the online shopping traffic in holiday 2014 was from mobile. So this is the first time, I know I said jokingly earlier, like this is the year of mobile. I say that all the time because I feel like everyone opens up a presentation talking about how mobile is this new thing. But 2015, my goodness, again, like 2014, we saw more than half. So 2015, I'm anxious to see what those numbers look like. People are shopping on their mobile devices. And these are just data facts. I see you taking the picture to again, arm you with that proper information. And the growth in mobile in 2014 was 111%. So continuing to rise. And what does that mean? Also from like a what are they doing standpoint on mobile. So people are using mobile before they enter in a store. So a research tool. They're using it while they're shopping, so that web rooming experience, you want the best deal when you're in a store. And so what can you do to combat that or to make sure that you're there when someone's in a store searching? We have options within Bing Ads where you can actually do location targeting, where you know where that person is from a geo perspective, and you can actually have within our product ads, depending on what the product is that they're searching on, a product ad come up that either competes, so one of two things, competes with what they just searched for. So let's go with the example like a microwave. Someone's in a store searching for a microwave. You can have an ad that comes up from you are the competing retailer with a better price or just more information, and now you did that because you knew that person was within this geolocation. Or number two, you could be that same exact retailer kind of like blocking a defense move where you're blocking someone, that shopper leaving the experience within your store or within your store and going somewhere else or making a purchase. And so I always tell retailers this and my clients this, don't look at it just from a perspective of we're covered. We're good there. We don't need to necessarily do something or launch a campaign to protect ourselves against someone who's doing sort of like comparison shopping. So even if they're doing like a search on your brand, some retailers don't believe that they need to bid on those keywords. It's super important because again, people are going to bid on your brand terms, and they're also looking from a competitive standpoint how to capitalize on what your consumers are doing, how they're engaging with your brand. The other thing is at the checkout. So people are also utilizing their mobile device to, while they're shopping, while they're at the checkout, just to like make that actual purchase, and then after exiting. So they're using it when they exit a store to review your site, to tell or to review your particular brand, to speak about like what they thought. So share their opinions, right? Opinions are everything, and consumers are informed now, and they want to be, they want the most information to make the best informed decision. And so after they leave, they're still engaging with your brand and product and giving feedback on how they felt about that experience. Okay, so we've got just kind of for across the board here, I'll leave this up for a quick moment, visits, orders, and revenues. So what the spikes have been year over year and what people are doing from a growth perspective in this holiday season across the board with how they're engaging with each of these. So again, this deck will be shared online if you guys want to dig into this more. I'm going to jump over that quickly. But it basically solidifies, again, everything we've been saying. Mobile's growing. Mobile's here as mobile's growing. So this is the slide I really want to get to from a smartphone versus tablet perspective. So mobile visits happening more on smartphone, right? 69% of mobile visits happen on smartphone versus the 31% that happen on the tablet. However, sales are happening on the tablet more than they're happening on smartphone for now. We might see this change, of course, in this holiday season, but as our devices got bigger, everyone has a big iPhone now. I've got a Windows phone and an iPhone, but you can have both. You can have both. I have Bing on both phones always. So, but that's also from a competitive standpoint. And I just want to, can I throw this in there since I said that? Siri is powered by Bing, guys. Little known fact, pretty exciting. Some people know that, but just calling out as well that you have. Although people are used to, right, didn't feel comfortable making that purchase on their smartphone, or you can't really zoom in and see exactly what it is that you're getting, but you can definitely begin the search there. So still, it needs to be a part of your marketing strategy to have a strong smartphone strategy, but then that tablet strategy of when they actually convert. So, for some people, it's that they're logged in to, for us, it's that they're logged into their Microsoft IDs. We know that they've moved from one device to another, and we allow that experience to carry on. For others, you can find different ways to ensure that, maybe someone is lower, actually on your site. This is definitely one thing that I've recommended in the past. On your site, you can have an option to save, right? If you have a client that you're working with that does have that, like, save my order, that's knowing that experience then gets picked up within the tablet space is something that if it doesn't exist right now, definitely you want to recommend that because we know people aren't hitting buy as frequently on smartphone, but they are buying somewhere else. All right, so we know this are coming from a PC. So mobile visitors spend half the time on the website, and those are coming from PC. I'm just going to skip over this because I know I'm at the end of the day. Trust me, I know. I don't want to give you guys a lot of information, but I want it to be as useful as possible. So we also want to we talked about mobile, but the translation of mobile search into mobile action. So I'm just going to call out here to just have a paid search campaign in mobile is one piece. But again, I would not be the proper agency lead from Bing and Microsoft if I didn't tell you guys how to maximize that. So we talked about all the actions that are taking place with the mobile device. And if you're going to launch a paid search campaign, you want to make sure that your ad allows the consumer to take those actions without having to even get to the site. So we have what's called like site extensions or we have ad extensions, and you can have your location right there in that ad. So you can manage your location listings for all of your stores and ensure that that information is properly populated. You have location extensions, so then in addition to having that proper and correct address, We all use it right now, but sometimes you don't even realize that's a paid search experience where someone's hitting that hyperlink and they're getting directions right to your store. People are actually making those experiences look seamless and embedded into the search results page. The other is the call extension, or call extension, so populating the correct number and having a telephone number that people can just click, one click, and make a phone call. So, and the last I'll also say is we also have we also have the site links where you can do deep link experiences. So it may be a little bit hard to see for some people in the back, but here you actually have an advertiser who has they've listed out their top pages or their top products that they want people to go to, right? And so instead of having someone come to your website and kind of like search around and figure out where to go, you've actually identified what you know to be the top pages or top information that they'll want to utilize. And so you can pre-populate that as well. All right, and then we're almost to the tool. So this unified shopping experience, we talked about that web rooming and showrooming, and so just leaving you guys with this last piece of just kind of stats around that. I think this is a really important when trying to sell in, again, and you know, it really explain the importance for structuring a holiday budget or a holiday test. This sometimes is really all the conversation is around. It's around our competitors are there, our consumers are in our store, we need to be there in some capacity for paid search. And then there's that other piece around, like we know that they're, again, doing that kind of research when in the store and before they enter the store. So these are the data sets to help with that. Checklists on the site, everything that I said, just kind of reiterated. This is where the tools are. So I have a tool that I love to share, and I don't know if we went quicker than we expected, but we have a tool. I have a tool that I love to share. It's just a free resource, Bing Ads Campaign Planner. And so we have a number of these. Before I even go into the screenshots, these slides aren't as pretty, but they're great as terms of a resource, as I said. Before I go into the Bing Ads Campaign Planner, I also want to call out that we have an free audience tool as well. It's called Bing Ads Intelligence, and it's a plugin within Excel. And so if you work within Excel a lot or you utilize Excel, I always recommend this tool as well. We're not going to go through it in depth today, but feel free to reach out to me if you kind of want some quick tips on it. I can refer you to some great resources. But it's an audience and keyword research tool, again, right in Excel. So it'll give you demo information. It'll give you all of that. And the reason why I love that it's in Excel is because if you're, I work in Excel sometimes. So for me, it means that I don't have to go somewhere else to then like copy and paste the information. So that's a good tip, Bing Ads Intelligence. But Campaign Planner, I told you it wasn't pretty, but it's great, is another free tool that we have. So if you just went to Bing and search Bing Ads Campaign Planner, it's a keyword research tool. So if you type in, this right here is what essentially the interface looks like, but the minute that you get there, you'll see this view, and you can type in your brand's terms, non-brand terms, and begin to doing some research on trending for a particular keyword, or again, some of that peak seasonality, peak timing. This doesn't just apply to paid search, right? This applies to what are people doing online and when are they searching. So you can do that, and then here as well, we also have vertical and subvertical data. And so these are categories for verticals and subverticals. Very hard to see on this screen, but once you go there, you'll see it. So again, whoever your client, advertiser, you may be, you can utilize this to kind of delve deep and see from a trending standpoint what's going on, begin to assess cost per click. If you did want to go ahead and launch that paid search campaign, also looking at that mobile share versus PC share, it'll tell you what those percentages are. And then it'll also give you a competitive snapshot up here. So you can see who, from a competitive standpoint, is also bidding on those types of keywords, are actively have a paid search campaign for those types of terms. So you can do that as well utilizing this tool. This is another view that just shows as you dig down, you can go very, very much into keyword level where it'll also recommend terms for you. So like we're here to also help you do the work, right? We understand that you can't just wake up tomorrow and figure out what kind of keywords to launch in a paid search campaign. So this tool does all those recommendations for you as well, and that Bing Ads intelligence tool I told you about. So this is a great one just to quickly, I would just even like go in and search your brand right now and see what that seasonality is gonna look like for this holiday season that we're talking. Is it aligning with everything that I just showed you that we project for 2015 holiday? Are you seeing the same thing for your vertical and for your sub-vertical? This tool will tell you what that forecasting looks like. And so that's the big view of it. I love this tool, can you tell? That's the next detailed percentage of it. It shows the coverage. And I wanted to leave you guys with a little gift because it was holiday season too. So if you are interested in doing a Bing Ads campaign, as I said, or just like delving into search a little bit and figuring it all out, it is super targeted in terms of how, or easy and targeted, meaning that you control the levers. You decide the budget, you decide when you want it to run, and you decide what types of keywords you would like in your paid search campaign. You can use this, and if you decide to, we do have a coupon that we offer is, an incentive for giving it a try. But the tools that I recommend to you as well are completely free, and you can use those too. I talked about following us and engaging with us. These are all of the places. If you want this deck, it's there. If you have any questions, I know we had I had a hashtag at the bottom, Bing Ads Holiday. If you have more questions, at Bing Ads as well, use the hashtag Bing Ads or at Bing Ads. I love answering questions. Felicia Gardner, I'll be here. I am here to definitely help you guys. If you have holiday, Bing, search, whatever it is, questions, I'm here.